Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of Candid Conversations. That alliteration I love, but I can't always say it. Candid Conversations. I'm gonna get it. Candid Conversations. You try saying it three times fast. It's hard, y'all. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I am excited to bring to you probably one of my favorite kinds of offices to run for, and that is the office of school board. And the reason that I love the people who run for school board is because, y'all, first of all, this is dealing with our kids and directly dealing with our kids. And in a times like this, when the stuff around education is so tenuous, and we actually have an administration that's trying to destroy education, the people who are on the front lines of making sure that our kids have access to types of quality education that they need could not be more important than it is today. And so across the country, school board elections are happening. And we want you to be informed about people running for school board. So, whether or not you live in Illinois, where these ladies happen to live, and whether or not you can be represented by them, I hope that you will find insight into the kinds of answers that they will give and the questions that we ask, so that this becomes a model for you to be asking questions of your own school board candidates that may be running in the area in which you live. It is also an opportunity, and this is probably what makes it the most fun for me, is for me to uplift more women who are diving into and seeking to be more engaged in our political process. I believe that representation really does matter. And I believe that making sure that Black women are engaged and involved everywhere is an important part of ensuring that that representation is taking place. So, with that, I am excited to bring, we have two candidates for you tonight. I'm excited to bring Zakiya to the stage, who's running for school board in Illinois. Welcome, Zakiya. Make sure you're off mute, sis.
Thank
There
you
you
so
go.
much, Holly, for having me today.
Oh man, I told you I love the school board. I had to fight Chantel for this interview. I want you to know. She was like, what? I'm being demoted." I said, "Girl, you're not being demoted. You just did the mayor last week." But school boards is my jam. So here we go. So
Yes,
thank you,
okay.
thank you, thank you. So I try to ask the kind of questions that help people really understand what's going on at the school board level, because a lot of folks, these are not always the elections that show up on the news. So people don't always know what it is and what's going on. So I have to ask you, knowing that this is not the most popular type of thing to run for, knowing that many times you do a lot of hard work without recognition, girl, why in the world are you running for the school board?
Hey, when you are in the army of the Lord, there are a lot of things you do without recognition
Oh,
on this earth,
listen,
okay?
that's it
There are
right
a
there.
lot of things that you do without people recognition, but I am in this because I love the kids, okay? And people say, yeah, you're doing that because you love the kids, but what I really care about is how are we equipping our kids to thrive holistically, not just academically. Um, but also how are we equipping the people that support them so that they could thrive. It's one thing to try to give the kids all the things, but if you're not equipping their families and their parents and their community, if the teachers and educators are not supported in a way that makes them show up as them best selves so that they can help our babies, our geniuses is what I call them, to be their
Oh,
best selves, then it's kind of like putting oil in water. It's not going to mix. You have to do the beef stew kind of thing where all the things mixed together taste good so that our kids can have what they need. I believe in strong family school partnerships, practical solutions, and making sure every decision that we make puts our students first.
oh wow, I love that. I really do. Well, listen, We all know when we start talking about schools, there's probably a long list of problems or concerns that people have when it comes to their schools. What's going on where you live?
Mhm.
What problem are you trying to solve, and who do you think has it?
So one of the things that the challenges, like our district, we just completed our strategic plan for the next 5 year. We have a new superintendent who's his first year. We've done a strategic plan, and it's called the Portrait of a Graduate, and it's a strong vision for student success holistically. And
Hmm.
like I said previously, while that's an amazing vision, we have to make sure that every family feels equipped, that every family feels included, and every family feels connected to what's happening with their geniuses in the school, and that they could voice their opinion, even if it's unorthodox, even if they don't sound like
Hmm.
properly educated, or that they could come and say, I don't know the right words, but I know this about my kid because I am the parent, I'm the caregiver, and I know my kids best. So this is what directly impacts our babies, because when families and our educators work together, our geniuses do better. So I'm really running to strengthen those connections, to support the people who support our babies, and make sure every kid and family feels seen and supported and prepared for whatever the next is.
Now, why is this so important to you? Because, a lot of people would say, if we can just make sure the kids show up every day and, our graduation is okay, it wouldn't matter if the parents or the community is involved in the school. Why is that so important for you?
So for me, kids are whole people. We are whole people. School is only one part of their lives. When I grew up, no one would have had any idea of what was going on at home with me,
Mm.
because I showed up as a scholar. Okay. I was on the honor roll. The teachers knew me, all the
Mhm.
things, but there were so many things going on at home that impacted me as I got older, even though I was able to perform well. And
Mm.
so I think if parents are comfortable in that space to say, I need help, or kids say, I can do the grade, I can get the grades, I could pass the test, I could, do the things, but how am I mentally? How am I emotionally? What is my spiritual journey like as a person to help me to be whole? Because when we are in the world, is what anybody looking at report cards? Are anybody looking at your standardized test scores when you no,
Yeah.
they're looking at how you show up character-wise, how are you in your relationships, and if those other pieces aren't dealt with, then you don't show up like the genius that you are.
Wow. And I love that you refer to the kids as genius. There's something that just feels special about that. So as you're thinking about the whole child, and you're thinking about how we bring communities together, which I just honestly love this whole concept. Give us an example of what that looks like in practice. Like, are there programs that you want to see? Are there ideas that you have about how we operationalize that and make that a reality?
Yeah, so I always say that just be simple. Everything don't have to be complicated to be effective,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not rocket science. Some of the most powerful solutions are when people listen.
Oh, wow.
We think everything is geometry and algebra when it's literally 1 plus 1 equals 2. And so I believe that as we strengthen trust and communication between schools and families, by creating more family and parent friendly spaces to ask hard questions, questions that don't make us feel judged, shamed,
Hmm.
guilt, Don't make us put us in mama bear or papa bear mode, talking to you about some challenges our kids may have, because you might look at them weird once we tell you things, or if you see things. Uh, Share ideas, stand informed. Like, we want to share this, but we just need the space to be able to do it. I
Yeah.
think we need to think about, like, how do we really support teachers and staff? Like, can we have quick feedback loop? Is there more parent, more planning time? How do we create vision at the beginning of the school year and over the summer as educators and as families, so that we can have vision for our school year when we're setting goals? Let the kids make the goals. They know what it is that they want to see, where they're strong at, and where they see deficits. And I think that we could better engage our community partners, because it's not just the education system that's going to help the solution, but it's multi-sector collaboration. It's more than academic. So we just have to continue to create these environments where students feel safe, where they feel supported, encouraged, and where learning just happens naturally. So my approach is all about collaboration and consistency and clear communication, but we can't do it alone. We have to do it together.
I mean, you make it sound so simple,
Yes, it is.
and yet I have to ask, why aren't we already doing that? I mean, it just feels like you said, 1 + 1 = 2. Why are we not already just doing it?
Because sometimes I just think we have the wrong puzzle pieces, when
Mm,
actually we do have the right puzzle pieces. They just might be in different places. I honestly don't believe that people intentionally stand in the way in making it happen. But it's, about systems, right? It's systems and habits, and it's communication gaps that keep us from moving forward. And sometimes as families, like I said, we don't feel heard or feel like it's safe. Sometimes we get stuck in the idea phase before we get feel like we can move forward for people to reach them. Sometimes we think things are not good enough because there's like not time. Often there's not a lot of trust, because who wants to try different? Like, let's just
mhm.
stay here. The kids are doing okay to get us our ISB funding. Okay, it's okay to keep going, whatever, but is it really? So what's blocking the hope isn't a lack of care. I think it's a lack of connection. I think everybody really just wants what's best for our geniuses, our baby. But the challenge is like making sure like every voice has a seat at the table. Decision our reflected parents are able to make informed decisions, because these are real families, these are real babies, these are real teachers. And that's why I'm running. I believe we can do better, not just like differently on one accord, but I mean separately, but together.
Yeah. So, inquiring minds want to know, what can we do to help? What can we do, and what do you need from us? How can we be supportive?
So I like the approach: start in your own backyard. Sweep around your own front door is what the song says, right? So I think it all starts in the homes, whether we are board members, whether we are educators, whether we're in the churches, communities, or whatever. But what is it like in our own homes? And what is it being honest about what it is that we need? So I think personal reflection and assessment, and not feeling like you're alone. Like, I know that families feel like they're alone sometimes, but how do we make that happen? By being able to have conversations. I want teachers to feel supported and not stretched so thin. They did not take psychology, classes for social work and therapy class. Like, they not therapists. They went to school for
Mhm.
teaching. Get the right specialists in the right seats to give the kids what they need before there's a problem, because I'm all about, my background's in public health. And so how about we do prevention instead of treatment all the time? Everything is not about a quote unquote vaccination, but could we eat some vegetables? Can we eat some exercise? Like, putting that in the context of school, can we be more preventative if we know certain things are happening. Why do we have to wait till they're in fifth and sixth grade to see the changes when it could have been dealt with in kindergarten or first grade? Um, I want to be able to walk for students and scholars and geniuses to walk into the school knowing that this is the place where they belong and I can safely grow here. I don't have to be perfect. I can make mistakes. That's why I'm running. I believe that um, we can get there if we listen, we work together, we make better decisions. And of course, ultimately, I'd love your vote. I'd love for you to share. If you're not in our Steger School District 194 area, share my campaign with others who may be in the area. You never know where people are, so share the campaign. But more than anything, I want you to know that someone on the ballot sees you, they hear you, and
I
ready
love
to
it.
serve with you in mind. And that's me, Zakiya Moton.
All right. Well, let's take one question from the audience. I'm gonna go with Kyle Steck. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we're gonna hope that it is. And they're asking, where in Illinois are you? That they have family that they want to help find you and see if you're representing them to support you. So tell people exactly where you are and what you're running for.
I am in Steger School District 194. That's elementary school, pre-K through eighth grade in Steger, Illinois. We cover multiple districts. We cover some Cook and some Will County, and some of the south suburbs feed into our area. Um,
Beautiful.
did I answer
Well,
the question?
you did. Thank you so much. And please drop in the comments where we can find you to support you. I don't know if you have a website or
I
oh, there we go. We got you. There's the bit.ly right there.
bit.ly
Uh
/vote for Zakiya.
vote for the key.
bit.ly /vote for Zakiya. Z as in zebra, AKIYA. And thank you, Miss Holly, so much. I enjoyed our time together.
It was amazing. Good seeing you. We're gonna
Bye.
see you out in those streets. We're
Yeah,
watching.
thank
All right. And lots of supporters. The election is April 1st, 2025. So it is next week, folks. So don't forget to vote. All right. See you soon, Zakiya. Well, y'all, we are just getting started. We have one more candidate coming up for school board because we are all about the schools tonight. And it is if you are and have been in Win with Black Women, then you already know our last guest. Not only is she running for school board, but last year she ran for her precinct committee position, and won that. She's back again to run for school board. She also happens to be one of our leads for Win with Black Women Illinois. She is really just a fantastic person and leader in the community. And let's face it, has been an old school Win with Black Women Network participant forever. It is my pleasure to bring up Terre Taylor. Hey, Terry. She's waiting.
Hi, how are you this
I am wonderful. I am
how are
wonderful. Yes, with the fan. Come on through, girl. You always bring that little bit of extra, and we love it. So I got to get right into this. I already talked about the fact that you are elected to the Illinois Precinct Committee person role. And here you are again running for school board. Why are you running?
I want to make sure that the school board has the money it needs to educate our children and make them productive global citizens. I'm responsible for delivering a balanced budget and to set school policies and also to evaluate and hire the superintendent. Once I do all that, then the other will follow, like to do the most good for the most students and to produce productive global citizens who are lifelong learners. Because guess what? Those are going to be the children at the nursing home for me. Those are going to be the doctors that I have to think of, right? We have to invest in our future, and because they deserve it.
I love it. Well, listen, I'm getting older, so like you, I'm starting to think about who's going to be working in some of these places. So I certainly am happy that you are thinking about them as well. Now I have to ask because I always like to think about the kinds of things that I, as a voter, want to know about, and so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. You kind of described the kind of ideal space to be as a student. What are some things that you see as like not working as well that have caught your attention that you want to impact?
I would like to implement this great ideal of utilizing the school buildings when school is not in session. We have a lot of moms who work from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., like using the school building as a 24-hour a day, 7 days a week child care facility. 3 to
Mm,
11, we have women who work 3 to 11. We have moms who work 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. You almost cannot find child care centers that do that type
mm,
of work. What if this woman works as a janitor at the local community college and she has the opportunity to go take college courses, but she don't have child care? If we offered free 24-hour a day, 7 days a week child care so the parents could take a nap, so they could take a class, so that they could breathe, so that they could exercise, so that they can plan for their future, that would have the trajectory to change the lives. While the children are at this facility, at their school, we need to have before school care, after school care, and when there's no school, and we'll bring other agencies in to do this, like the Park District. When there's no school, they can have on-site childcare in at least one of the school buildings in the district. While the children are there at before care, after care, or from 3 to 11 p.m. or 11, from 3 to 11 p.m., they could have, we know we putting them to bed at 8 or 9 so they don't be cranky for school. You could be bringing in the occupational therapist, the physical therapist, the mental health therapist. They would have academic coaching. They could have longer time to receive services. Do you know that children who play a musical instrument outperform those students that don't play a musical instrument? They can get
mm,
art therapy, music therapy. If you think right now parents are going through a lot, imagine what the children are going through.
mm, mm. Well, there's no doubt. I hear the passion in your voice when you talk about this. I have to ask, uh, how do what's your experience with this and how did this come to you? Why is this so important to you?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm a Black woman living in America. I'm
Oh,
62
well,
years old.
okay.
Um, when I moved to the suburbs, this is lived experience. When I moved from Chicago to the suburbs, I noticed that I had a lot of perks and a lot of benefits that made my life and my children's lives such much easier. Like before
Okay.
school care. So when I would leave in the morning, I had before school care, and the average Black woman or Hispanic woman is raising 5 children, and all of them might not be hers. So I had 5 children in my house from 6 weeks old to 15 years old. That 15-year
Wow.
old had a baby. So every morning that baby had to go to a daycare. Somebody donated me a car. She dropped the baby off at the daycare. I had a 4-year-old. I had to drop him off at one center because he had half-day kindergarten. Up the street, I had another one that was in third grade. And then my 14-year-old went to school on a school bus, and the 15-year-old sometimes dropped the baby off. After work, I was lucky at Roosevelt University in Schaumburg, Illinois. They had a night daycare. I could pick my kids up at 5, get to night school at 6. They would feed them dinner, play with them. That helped me get my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. I would have never been able to do that if I didn't have that type of support.
Wow.
And
Now see, that's what I'm talking
the
about.
thing that because I got my degrees that made all 4 of my children go to college. And some of my children have advanced degrees because I was able to set the example. I
Man.
know it
And
works.
yeah, I see. I love this. This is why I asked the question. So, I mean, you've already given us such clear examples of why this is important. to you as an individual because of your experience, and how it can potentially be important to other parents who are trying to think through the same thing. What do you think this would also what but it feels like it also has an impact on the community. How does the community benefit from this?
Because we don't have latchkey children at home by themselves. It's a safety issue. We have children in a supportive environment, and we need to take the blinders off. What type of jobs do you think Black women have? Okay, I'm going to give you an example. The average mom is not that suburban mom. The average mom may jump on a plane on Monday morning to go to a different state and do financial analyst to make sure somebody ain't cooking the books, and then jump off that plane on Friday for her children, right? The average mom, I don't know what type of moms you think we have, but this is the profile of the new mom, right? Everything's global. Jobs are more competitive, right? Because we live in a high tax district for school, right? She's paying for all these services. How about this? How about the mom that's a female worker that has to be
Mhm.
deployed at sites and have to have her elderly mama come and hold her kids down, right? Sometimes her mom has a
Mhm.
doctor appointment and needs supplemental help. What about the mother that is a military contractor, right? We can't just think of moms, narrow-minded with jobs, right? Because we're doing the doggone thing. What about the mom that's deployed in Iraq or someone on a 911 military base? That's the 911 operator, and she only gets to come home once or twice a month. Don't you think her mother, who's the person that's holding her kids down, needs help and support as she ages? People don't
Listen.
realize that the average mom of color has 5 children, and that her job may not be downtown. Oh, here's another example. What about the
Okay.
mom that has to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, cook dinner, then run to the metro? She's up at 4 o'clock in the morning because she has to proofread the homework, check the stuff, make sure they got their lunches, run out the house, jump on the metro, go downtown, go to work, and then come back, jump, and do it all over again. And a lot of times
Man.
she may have to job. A lot of times they have to give up their jobs because they don't have the support that they need. And then the family begins to crumble.
Oh my God. You literally are speaking life. We have so many people that are chatting with us, talking to us, talking about what happens when you are a police officer, when you might be an overnight nurse. So this really does resonate. Some people are ready for you to move back to Chicago and help their help their school district. But I assume you're gonna stay in Keeneyville and keep on running in District 20. What do you think? Listen, if
Oh,
you are just
I'm in and out of Chicago.
well, again, it's also just making sure, as we are able to elect. One of the reasons that we love doing this segment and why I personally love school board members is because here's the reality. If we're able to elect people like Terry Taylor, like Zakiya Moton, then what that does is it helps us to set models and examples. Imagine electing someone like Terry Taylor who puts in this kind of program in your district, in her district, and then other districts coming and finding out about it and then replicating it, because that's really what starts to happen when we have people who are bringing these creative solutions in one place. They inspire people to run in other places. And so if you are one of those people listening to this, you may be the person setting that example. And it sounds like, Terry, you might be one of those kind of folks. So I love that. So listen, what's in the way? Who's stopping us from being great? Because I feel like you have your finger on the pulse of a very important problem with a creative solution that sounds like it will work. Who's in our way? Why are we not already doing this?
We're in our own way. We got to get up off the couch and go vote.
Ah,
VOTE. 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 Get up and vote. The election is April 1st. Vote, mommy, vote. Hashtag vote Terry Taylor. Hashtag vote Keeneyville SD20. Hashtag successful schools. Hashtag before school care, school care. Hashtag 24/7. Using the school building. It's already paid for, right? And bringing in programs, bring in the park district, bring in the therapists, bring in the nurses, bring in the occupational therapists, bring in the community. We look, the moms might just need to take a nap or read a book or rest.
Well, I love it. I love it. And you know what else I love? I love the fact that it is not all about work. It is as much about care. That we should not be looking at this just as a problem to have us work harder, better, or smarter, but that sometimes we just need a break. And and a break is just as important as getting work done. Well, listen, you got some fans out there. Jasmine Girl says you better vote for this woman. We need you back in Chicago helping our schools too. So lots of support for you tonight, Terry. Thank you so much for coming. The election, as you stated, is April the 1st. We are excited to have candidates. And if you love this conversation, you want to see us interview other Black women, because that is part of our requirements. You need to be a Black woman. I just want to share with you how you too can be a part of it. Candidate conversations, the 3 C's. We are excited about you running for office. If you happen to be running for office in 2025, we are live here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. There is the QR code. We are live streamed on Win with Black Women, live stream Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, as well as, of course, my very beloved Sisters Lead, Sisters Vote. You are getting a lot of praise still in the chat, Terry. You are a huge hit. Tell folks where they can find you.
Tell you put my address
There
in there.
she is. There it is. It's on the screen now. You go to www.democracycandidate.us candidates, and then you will see Terry Taylor. So this is the place to find her. She is doing all the things. She already is serving as your Democratic committee person, precinct captain in Illinois precinct. So please, 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 it's time for her to add another title to her resume as a school board member. And as you could tell, she is bringing the passion, the energy, and the creativity to solve the problems that we really have going on in real life, and create solutions for us. Terry, it has been such a pleasure. Your election, like that election of Zakiya, is April the 1st. So, Illinois, we need you to get out and vote for your school board candidates. April the 1st, 2025. That is next week, y'all. So do not dilly daddle. It's time to get this thing popping. Terry, thank you so much for spending a little time with us. All righty. And that concludes another edition of Candidate Conversations. We will be back next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Let your friends know. We will be right here live. As you know, the live broadcasts remain live on our social media. So please, if you care about school boards, and especially if you know someone in Illinois, please share, and share, and follow us in all the various places. We'll see you next week for Candidate Conversations.